The orbital station hummed with the perpetual drone of life support systems as Kalara watched the human through the observation deck's reinforced viewport. Commander Marcus Chen stood in the training bay below, his movements precise as he calibrated the gravity simulator for tomorrow's planetary descent mission. Still staring at the monkey? Her friend Vrax clicked his mandibles in amusement. I thought Velcorians had better taste. Kalara's chromatic scales rippled with indignation. I'm studying his inferior technique. Humans still rely on muscle memory instead of neural enhancement. Primitive. But she couldn't look away. For 3 months since Commander Chen had joined the interspecies coalition aboard the Meridian Dawn, Kalara had found herself drawn to his oddly inefficient methods. Humans were fascinating contradictions, fragile yet resilient, slow to adapt yet impossibly creative. Commander Chen, she transmitted through the bay's comm system, her translator rendering her clicks and whistles into flat standard. Your reaction time is 0.3 seconds slower than optimal parameters. Perhaps you should return to your species' traditional warfare, throwing rocks. Through the viewport, she saw him pause mid-exercise. Even from here, she could detect the slight upturn of his lips, that strange human expression called a smile. Ensign Kalara, his voice crackled back. My reaction time accounts for tactical assessment. Unlike some species, we don't need computer assistance to think before we act. Vrax chittered with laughter. He has you there. Over the following weeks, their exchanges became routine. Kalara would critique his methods. Chen would respond with infuriating patience and occasional humor. She told herself it was merely intellectual sparring, a way to pass the tedium of long-range patrol duty. The station's mission was simple: monitor the contested border between Coalition space and the Zethian supremacy. Simple, until the day proximity alarms shrieked through every corridor. Zethian warships dropping out of fold space, Captain Vorn's voice boomed through station-wide comms. All personnel to battle stations. Kalara's training bay transformed into chaos. Crew members of a dozen species scrambled to their posts. She found herself running alongside Commander Chen toward the fighter launch bays. Ensign, you're with me, Chen commanded, his earlier warmth replaced by combat focus. Your fighter's neural link system pairs well with human tactical processing. I don't take orders from... Kalara began. But an explosion rocked the station. Emergency bulkheads slammed shut throughout the section. They were trapped together in the auxiliary bay with only one operational 2-seat fighter. Get in, Chen ordered, already running through pre-flight. I'll pilot. You handle weapons and countermeasures. Kalara's pride warred with survival instinct. Survival won. She slid into the rear seat, her neural interface jack connecting seamlessly with the fighter's tactical systems. The moment they launched, everything changed. Through the neural link, Kalara felt Chen's thoughts bleeding into hers, not words, but pure tactical awareness. She experienced combat the way humans did, pattern recognition shaped by millennia of tribal warfare. Spatial awareness evolved from hunting across ancient grasslands, split-second risk assessment that no AI could replicate. It was terrifyingly beautiful. 3 fighters, 12 o'clock, Kalara transmitted. Her weapon systems painted targets instantly through the neural link. Chen didn't acknowledge verbally. He simply rolled the fighter into a dive that positioned them perfectly. Kalara fired. 3 Zethian craft became expanding debris clouds. They moved as one entity. Chen's intuitive piloting complemented Kalara's enhanced reaction speed. What should have been a mismatch of 2 incompatible species became something unprecedented. Perfect synchronization. The battle lasted 47 minutes. When the Zethian forces finally retreated, Kalara and Chen had 17 confirmed kills between them, more than any other fighter team. As they docked with the heavily damaged station, Kalara's mother's image appeared on her personal comm. High Commander Selyara's expression was unreadable, her scales displaying the neutral gray of formal communication. Kalara, Report to my quarters immediately upon landing, alone. The walk to her mother's quarters felt longer than the battle. High Commander Selyara rarely summoned her daughter for personal matters aboard ship. They maintained professional distance. It was the Velkorian way. Her mother's quarters were sparse, decorated only with service commendations and star charts. Selyara stood with her back to the door, staring at a holographic display Kalara couldn't quite see. "You fought well today," Selyara said quietly. "Your neural synchronization with Commander Chen exceeded theoretical maximums for cross-species combat coordination." "Thank you, High Commander." Kalara kept her voice formal, uncertain. "I notice you've been observing Commander Chen for some time." Selyara still hadn't turned around. "Your interest seems to exceed professional curiosity." Kalara's scales flushed with embarrassment. "Mother, let me show you something." Selyara finally turned, manipulating the holodisplay to expand it. The image showed a much younger Selyara standing beside a human male in an ancient Earth military uniform. His face was weathered, kind, with laugh lines around his eyes. He had his arm around Selyara's shoulders in that peculiar human gesture of affection. "This is Colonel Daniel Chen," Selyara said softly. 31 years ago, before you were born, he was assigned to the first human Velkorian Joint Research Station. We were incompatible by every metric our scientists could measure." Kalara stared at the image, her mind racing. "Chen, Commander Chen, is your father." Selyara's scales rippled through a cascade of emotions Kalara had never seen her display. "Daniel returned to Earth when tensions rose between our governments. We thought it would be temporary. Then the separation protocol was enacted, and cross-species families were discouraged. By the time the coalition formed 15 years later, Daniel had aged significantly. Humans are so brief." "He's alive?" "Retired, in a place called Colorado. I've kept watch over Marcus Chen since he enlisted. Your half-brother shares his father's talent for impossible victories." Selyara met Kalara's eyes. "Perhaps you inherited more from your human side than you realize. That perfect synchronization in battle, that's not just training. That's family." Kalara felt her world reorganizing itself. Every dismissive comment she'd made about human limitations, every teasing remark about primitive tactics, she'd been rejecting part of herself. "Does he know?" she whispered. "Commander Chen?" "No. That choice belongs to you now." Through the viewport, Kalara could see the damaged station slowly rotating against the starfield. Somewhere in those corridors, her brother was filing combat reports, unaware that the annoying Velkorian ensign, who constantly criticized his methods, shared his blood. The galaxy suddenly felt much smaller, and infinitely more complex. "I need to think," Kalara said. Selyara's scales shifted to warm amber, approval and love. "Take your time. But remember, child, humans don't have much of it.